Hello and welcome to the Elida Fieldhouse for tonight's championship game in the Tip-Off Classic between the Shawnee Indians and the Lima Central Catholic Thunderbirds. I'm Nate Garlick alongside Mark Shine and Evan Skilleter. And guys, we got a fantastic matchup tonight. We got a Shawnee team that has a lot of hype coming into this season and an LCC team that has some questions but a lot of talent still on that team.
Well, you know what I think, Nate? Sometimes it doesn't happen this way because the schedule is predetermined and the two best teams play on Friday night. I think this year, by how things played out, the two best teams are playing on Saturday night in the championship game. Looking forward to this one.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at tonight's keys to the game. They are brought to you by Lima Chevrolet Cadillac, the area's premier Chevrolet and Cadillac dealer in the greater Lima area. Serving Lima for over 100 years, we are proud to call this home. And Evan, this is a really interesting matchup between these two schools.
Yeah, it is for sure. We've got a lot of length and a lot of athleticism out there, and we take a look at the keys and start with LCC. They're up against a team that has a lot of guys 6'6" and above, and the only way to beat a team like that is to move the ball quickly, make them move, and create pockets and seams in the defense. It's going to be tough to go one-on-one. It's going to be tough to get post-up looks, but if you're moving the ball, cutting well, setting some screens away from the ball, you can get some nice looks at the basket. The second thing is going to be time of possession. They've got to make sure they stay patient against a team that, again, is going to play some pretty tough defense, right? If they can have nice, long, extended possessions and look for their shot, they're going to keep the ball away from this pretty explosive Shawnee offense, and they have a really good chance. And then the next one, again, to counter that length, is to run the floor, get up and down before the defense can get set, before they can use that length to their advantage. But then if you look at the other side for Shawnee, you've got to use that length to your advantage, right? They're going to play a zone defense. I'm sure we're going to see some of it. There's a staple 1-2-2 that I can't wait to see and talk about that Shawnee's going to run in order to use that length. And then the second thing is the pressure, right? They can use that length to get up in the face of LCC to make things tough for them to move the ball around and try to counter that ball movement that LCC is going to be looking for today. And for Shawnee, it's going to be spreading the ball out. They've got a lot of different guys that can score and a lot of different guys that can get hot. If you make it tough for LCC to key on one or two guys, you spread out the wealth a little bit, you get a lot of different guys going, you're going to be really tough to beat tonight.
You know, I'll tell you what, guys, Beckett Berkey versus Jordan Pretty may be one of my most favorite matchups that we're going to see all season long. I cannot wait to watch these two go at it here in this one. The opening tip-off is right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the opening tip and tonight's starting lineups on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's quarter sponsors, Washam Plumbing and Heating, providing residents and businesses of Lima, as well as the surrounding communities with plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services. Call 419-339-0729. Also like to thank tonight's presenting sponsor, Pat's Donuts and Cream. Visit any of our 4 area locations, including our newest location at 600 South Cable Road next to LCC, open daily. Welcome back into the Elida Fieldhouse. Nate Garlock, Mark Shine, Evan Skilleter. And guys, we have I think is going to be a fantastic matchup here tonight for this championship game in the Tip-Off Classic. You know, the tip-off has just been a staple of this area for so long. It really is, even with the season starting a little bit earlier this year, this really is the kickoff to the high school basketball season.
Well, you know, in 1988, I sat in a gym with Bob Sagerson, Jeff Heaston, and Chris Adams to put this thing together. And I was new to the community. I knew very little about it, and it's been a staple ever since.
Anything Mark Shine touches turns to gold.
You're not wrong about that.
Those are some great guys he was in company with, though, for sure.
Absolutely.
Jordan Pretty looking to get the scoring open here early, and he does. A nice take right down the heart of that Shawnee defense.
Pretty 23 points last night. Nice job getting into the lane, and good touch on that shot to float it up and in.
Now here's Shawnee's first possession. Going to get the ball to Trevick Berkey. Trevick led all of Shawnee's scorers last night with 23 of his own, but he can't get that one to go down.
Good defense at the rim by Drew Pester, getting up there and making the shot tough.
Pretty with a tough shot there, can't get it to go. LCC with the offensive rebound.
Good defense there by Beckett Berkey, not leaving his feet, not giving Pester anywhere to go.
You see Zod Burton goes in and a lot of contact underneath.
Parker Krim, the Krim Reaper, making
an
appearance.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
You know, there's only one senior on LCC's team. They start 2 juniors, 2 sophomores, and a freshman. It's a kind of a rebuilding program around Jordan Pretty, and you're looking at 3 seniors who start for Shawnee, and 2, a junior and sophomore, who might be their 2 best players. So they're really, really good young talent on the floor tonight.
The freshman Zod Burton at the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken free throw line, able to knock down both as LCC out to an early 5-0 lead. I believe it should just be 4-0. Do I got some scoring wrong somewhere, Mark? You're usually my my balance point.
I think you're right.
There's Tate Bender from the corner as he gets the State Bank three-pointer to go down.
Really good ball movement from Shawnee. They penetrated a couple times and kicked it out. That time, a nice job going baseline and then kicking it across to Bender. Makes no mistake. As you said, it should be 4-3.
Here's Burton. He's working around, drops it off. Nice drive to the inside. Jackson White couldn't get it to go, but here comes Pretty with another opportunity. Pretty giving up some size to Trevick Berkey, but that doesn't matter as the fall away goes down. Jordan Pretty with 4 points here to begin the game.
It's a good looking shot right there. Uses the body to find some space and hits a fader.
Another turnover for the Indians. It's LCC coming down quickly. Nice find to the inside. Pester gets cut off. Jagger Hutchins with the defense.
Yeah, Hutchins with a size advantage there, knows that he doesn't need to bite on any fakes, doesn't need to leave his feet, just stay behind. But no way for Pester to shoot over the top there.
You know, in the consolation game, guys, we talked about the length from back. As you see, Rod Burton's shot is up. Beckett Berkey comes down with the rebound. There is no team in this area, though, that is longer than the starting 5 here of the Shawnee Indians. Between Beckett and Trevick Berkey, you have Demola Ojo, which has a wingspan the size of this gym, it seems like, and Jagger Hutchins. You can't match up with them man-to-man.
Well, they was just mentioned about size advantage. They've got a size advantage on every position on the floor right now.
Hutchins lost it, but he ends up getting it back as Beckett got it over to Trevick.
It's good help defense from Jeff Williams coming in and just knocking that ball away from Hutchins real quick.
Here's Bender. Gets it back out to Beckett. Beckett's going to drive. And an offensive foul against Beckett Berkey. That's going to be his first. This has been a great start for the Thunderbirds.
Great job by Jackson White. You see him get in position here. And Beckett tried to make the step around, but just not able to get there. And a good-looking charge right there, taking the second foul against Shawnee of the quarter.
See the other freshman, Jeff Williams, out on the floor for the Thunderbirds. As Brady Parker sets a three-pointer up. That one's going to be no good. Race for the loose ball as Williams goes into the first row of the stands, and it is going to go back to the Indians.
Made good friends with the trash can over there, him and Peaster going after it.
And scared one cheerleader to death.
That's right.
Hutchins with the basketball towards the top of the key. Hutchins going to let this one go, and he gets it to go down. Must have been just inside the arc, as that is just a two-pointer for Jagger. Good find. Pester coming down the lane as Beckett quickly picks up his second foul. 4:38 left to go here in just the first quarter, and Beckett Berkey with 2 fouls.
Yeah, nice job by Peaster right there, cutting down the lane as his teammate was going baseline, saw that his defender turned his back and had a little seam to cut toward the basket. Good find, good foul, and now 2 free throws for Peaster as he makes the first.
Drew Peaster hits the first from the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken free throw line. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, located in Walthall, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Locally owned and operated, Lee's is not just famous for chicken, we're famous for catering too. Peaster not able to make the second as LCC has the 2-point lead, 7-5. Beckett looking to drive, and he's going to pick up the foul this time as that's going to go against Brady Parker.
Yeah, interesting with 2 early fouls, but they leave Berkey out there.
Here's Caleb Miller set to check in. I think as soon as he shoots these 2 free throws, you'll see Miller take his place. But you're right, they left him in through the offensive possession.
But I'll tell you what, you want to talk about a difference in style of play when you're subbing Caleb Miller in for Beckett Berkey. Caleb actually coming back to basketball this year, played his freshman and sophomore year, took his junior year off to focus on soccer. A very, very good soccer player for that Shawnee Indians team. coming back out his senior year. So he's still, not only is he getting back into basketball shape as far as he took the year off, but that Shawnee soccer team just finished playing like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
They made a deep tournament run. Him and Tate Bender both coming off of very long soccer seasons.
And Peaster with a lot of space right there. Hutchins not really respecting the jump shot. And Peaster able to knock it down no problem.
Drew Peaster with 4 points here in the quarter gives LCC the 10-7 lead. Ojo with the basketball, looking to go with it somewhere. Tate gets it over to Miller. Miller loses it as he tries to drive to the inside. Here comes Pretty. Pretty up against Jagger. Jagger does a nice job of beating him up top. And initially, it looked like that was going to be clean, but we saw the official from the backside of that one trailing come in and call it on Hutchins, as it looks like Pretty maybe just retying his shoe as it came off there at the very end.
Yeah, and a tough call right there is Hutchins tried to go up vertically, but the referee on the backside of the play thought he went in a little bit too much with the body. 2 free throws coming up for Pretty. Again, last night, 23 points for Jordan Pretty.
Pretty not able to make the first. He has one more shot. Tonight, our officials on the floor are Kenneth Davis, Daryl Phillips, and Byron Edwards. As Pretty able to make 1 of 2.
Shawnee with 4 fouls here already and still 4 minutes to go almost in this quarter. So LCC can get to the free throw line a lot.
Hutchins going to let this one go. That one's no good. Bender with the rebound and a putback. Tate Bender with a big offensive rebound for 2.
It's a really good play from Bender. Didn't wait too long, and then on the other end, Peaster.
Drew Peaster coming out firing here in this first quarter.
He had 2 points last night. He's looking at 6 right now.
That was Brady Parker, excuse
me,
yeah, getting the bucket. But either way, really nice job getting through the contact and scoring.
Caleb Miller gets Peaster to leave his feet. Readjust, can't get that one to go down. Zod Burton with the rebound.
LCC's not going to mind a mid-range jumper like that. But they don't want to give up his looks at the basket as Peaster trying to be aggressive.
Pretty for 3. That one's good. Jordan Pretty with the State Bank three-pointer.
Pretty knew exactly what he was going to do with that ball. You could see his feet were getting ready to get set as he was receiving the pass. Caught the ball in his shooting pocket. Nice quick release over the tall defender. Love that from Pretty, who's off to a hot start.
This is a lot like how things went last night as Jordan Pretty got off to a very hot start. As Hutchins readjusted, can't get that three-pointer to go down. Here comes Peaster, gets it over to Burton. Burton right into Hutchins with the contact as Zod Burton able to get it to go down for 2. And then as Pretty cooled off, it was actually Zod Burton who he came hot to help carry the offense for LCC. But right now here in this first quarter, it's both Burton and Pretty doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, and they've been really, really tough. Not afraid to attack the basket, going right through the contact of Hutchins, who's doing a nice job staying straight up and down. Now LCC knocks this one away, and those fans really getting into it as well. Tough game right now for Shawnee, but a really nice start for LCC.
What he did, though, is he took the ball into the defender so the defender didn't have room to just straight up jump and block his shot.
So Matthew Stiles checking in for the Indians. So that height and size advantage that Shawnee had went away. Trevick Berkey left all alone. He nails the three-pointer as Trevick Berkey has his first State Bank three-point shot. And we have a timeout on the floor. We'll take it as well. LCC on top, 18-12. We'll step aside and be back on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's timeouts are brought to you by Metzger Financial Services, helping you plan your financial future. Call 419-225-6067 or visit MetzgerFinancialServices.com. LCC has raced out to an early 18-12 lead mark, and it's been really impressive how this offense has worked.
Knowing just how Coach Triplett thinks, I'll bet that conversation at that timeout was all about defense. They've given up 18 points here in just over 6 minutes, and that doesn't make Coach very happy.
Well, to be honest with you, though, I don't think Shawnee's playing awful defense. Well, I say that just as they get beat from the perimeter, but they're doing a nice job helping at the rim. I think LCC's just done a really nice job hitting tough shots, going through contact, as we talked about, and getting some good looks at the basket.
Well, here we are at that free throw shooting situation mentioned a moment ago. Now, that was team foul number 5, and the free throw line they'll go.
So Caleb Miller picked up the foul as you saw the speed of Jeff Williams come into play there, as he's going to make his first trip to the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken free throw line. Able to get that one to go, his first point of the night.
Good-looking freshman, moves really well, shifty player, can dribble the basketball, can score a little bit too.
Can't get the second as Trevick Berkey comes up with the rebound. Beckett Berkey still on the bench after picking up his second foul early in this quarter.
I'd like to see Hutchins get inside a little bit. He's got a size advantage, at least a thickness advantage on Peaster. But so far, all of his catches have been on the perimeter, not using that body to take advantage inside. And now a turnover.
Looks like Tate Bender is going to get whistled for the offensive foul.
Ooh. Tough one right there. Nice job sliding over by Williams.
White gets it over to Parker. Parker lets the three-point ball go, and he connects on the State Bank three-pointer. He now has 5 here in this quarter.
Yeah, Parker just pops off that screen and gets open as Shawnee trying to drop and protect the basket.
As Trevick Berkey as Jagger Hutchins, he tried to drive. He lost the handle out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Indians. You know, the one concern that I think a lot of teams or a lot of people had coming in when you look at this Shawnee team this year, there is talent all over the place. They have scoring with both Berkeys. You have Beckett, who may be the early season favorite for WBL Player of the Year. You have a player in Jagger Hutchins who can shoot three-pointers, but it was going to be ball handling. That was the one weakness last year that teams tried to exploit. They don't have that true point guard ball handler. And they have Caleb Miller back out here. Tate Bender does a nice job trying to fill that role as well. But I think you're seeing that even here early in this one, as it was Trevick who brought that one up. And, you know, you've seen different players have to bring the ball up the court. And when you get the speed and the pressure of good teams like LCC, it's causing them some issues here early.
It's definitely causing them issues. And again, you know, you can kind of play point guard by committee as Hutchins misses another 3.
Nice effort by Max Goldsberry there, but he can't get that one to go. LCC trying to get the run out. Here comes Parker. Left hand, no good. Rebound down to Stiles. 20 seconds left to go here in the opening quarter.
I'll get back to that thought later, maybe in the second quarter. But again, they can run with a couple different guys bringing the ball up the court, but they've got to have someone be able to take control offensively and set something up and get things moving.
Trevick getting some contact from Jordan Pretty as he's going to pick up his first foul with 4 seconds left to go. And we're going to see Beckett Berkey coming back in here as they're going to try to get some offense going and hopefully get a good look for him, I'd imagine, in the last couple of seconds. Actually, he's going to trigger the inbound, so we'll see what Coach Triplett draws up here.
Still might see him step in and get a handoff. He's going to go all the way to the other corner.
He's able to get the shot off, and that one's going to be no good. As the first quarter was all LCC, their offense could not miss as they have the 23-12 lead. We'll step aside and be back with the second quarter here on WOSN. Welcome back. Second quarter just about underway here at the Atlanta Fieldhouse. And tonight's quarter sponsors Washam Plumbing and Heating, providing residents and businesses of Lima as well as the surrounding communities with plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services. Call 419-339-0729. Shawnee and LCC playing in the championship game of the Tip-Off Classic. Nate Garlock, Evan Skilleter, Mark Shine here. You know, Mark, that first quarter was, I think, anything except what people were expecting to see out of both of these teams.
Well, Berkey just picked up his 3rd foul. Sorry to interrupt you.
You're
but
right.
On that first shot of the game, or the quarter, Berkey gets called for his 3rd. He has to come right back off and go to the bench.
I think there are two things that really stood out. Number one is LCC was 3 for 4 from the three-point line. And number two, LCC did not turn the basketball over in the first quarter. You put those two things together, they're able to build a lead with their offense and a solid defensive quarter.
You know, Nads Evan just said Beckett Berkey back on the bench. Coach Triplett not happy as Beckett picking up that third foul right away. He's going to have to go back to the bench, and, you know, they're going to get their depth tested very early here as, well, you know, Beckett Berkey isn't just any player. If it wasn't for a guy named Colin White doing some things down in Ohio State right now, there's a real good chance that Beckett Berkey is a two-time defending WBL Player of the Year. And for him to be struggling this much here early, especially with his team down 10, you can understand why Coach Triplett is so frustrated.
Well, definitely, and I think Shawnee's been missing an inside presence as well. And not that Beckett Berkey is a back-to-the-basket post-up player, but he is a guy that can catch a pass off a cut, or a guy that's not afraid to dribble inside. And you saw right there, nice job.
Great inbounds play.
Just, yeah, getting the easy one. But they really need Berkey in there to really get the offense moving around and to get some better looks.
Easy basket for Tate Bender. He now has 7. He leads all scorers. As Pretty lets this one go from just beyond the free throw line. Can't get it to fall. And Shawnee going to try to speed things up.
Trevick thought about a deep 3 right there. Probably better not to and get a better look.
Jagger being all sorts of pressured by Parker. Hutchins gets it back, puts it on the floor. That shot is going to be a little bit too strong. Rebound comes down to LCC.
Hutchins really pushing right now, kind of forcing a couple looks. Just needs to settle in a little bit, work that ball around. You'll find your shot. That one probably not it.
Parker gets it out to Williams. Williams is going to drive baseline. He gets cut off. Burton now going to reset as it ends up in the hands of Pretty. Pretty looking to drive. Has this one rejected by Hutchins, but he's going to get whistled for the foul. That is his second, as we're going to check it out here on the Ultimate Outdoor Instant Replay. From our angle, guys, that looked pretty clean to me.
Well, what's happened was they wanted to play Beckett Berkey on Pretty. And now with those fouls, they've had to go to a smaller player in Bender, giving up about 5 or 6 inches in height, and that's changed up their defensive concept.
Jordan Pretty misses his first as he steps up to the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken free throw line. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, located in Walpock, Delphus, and St. Mary's, locally owned and operated. Lee's is not just famous for chicken, we're famous for catering too.
We took a look at that replay, and possibly what the referee saw right there was the hip of Hutchins just kind of turning into the offensive player. Up top, definitely a clean block though.
So Trevick having to bring it up against some pressure by Burton, able to get rid of it.
We should mention Hutchins has 2 fouls now as well. So things are piling up a little bit for Coach Triplett.
As Trevick loses this one, Williams in attack mode, drops it back off, 3-pointer on its way. That one's going to be no good. Pretty with the rebound. As Hutchins is able to swat that one as Bender gathers it in.
Yeah, nice job by Hutchins getting out there. Good transition defense from Shawnee, and now they lose it at the other end.
That one's going to go off of Trevick. Right now, LCC is speeding Shawnee up, and we're seeing them make a lot of mistakes when they're going a little bit too quick right now.
That's their 6th turnover, and again, LCC does not have a turnover yet in the game.
Saw that on our instant replay. Tonight, our instant replays are brought to you by Ultimate Outdoor. Bring resort-style living to your backyard every day with a luxury outdoor space by Ultimate Outdoor. Here comes the Indians as they forced a turnover. Almost gave it right back, but Ojo able to gather it in and gets the floater to go for his first 2 of the night.
Nice job sticking with it by Shawnee. Still trying to get the ball down to the rim in transition. Had a pass knocked away, but still able to recover and get a decent look. Need a good defensive possession here.
Burton had to get rid of it. This is Williams now, working against Miller. Nice defense by Caleb Miller, forces Jeff Williams to get rid of it. As Burton now is going to pull up into the lane, and he came up against 2 Indians, lost his shoe, so the Indians have numbers. Ojo working around, Pretty in the lane, and gets the layup to go in.
Use those long legs to get around the defender. Now Shawnee fired up. A couple nice defensive plays and turning it into offensive points.
Momentum back into the favor of the Indians. LCC takes the timeout. We will as well, and we'll be back on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's timeouts are brought to you by Metzger Financial Services, helping you plan your financial future. Call 419-225-6067 or visit MetzgerFinancialServices.com. LCC takes the timeout as they see the momentum go away from them. And Mark, how has Shawnee really turned this tide?
Well, they pitched a shutout for 3.5 minutes. The defense has been much better. They've contested every shot. There's another one.
Yeah, and LCC right now just kind of settling. Shawnee taking advantage. Trevick gets down the floor and then gets fouled, so he'll get 2 free throws immediately following that. And Coach Foster right in the grill of his point guard, Jeff Williams, for taking that early 3 and then fouling at the other end.
Well, especially coming out of a timeout, you wanted a better possession than that, but you're looking at a young player. He's just kind of getting his feet wet a little bit. He took a kind of a rush shot.
Trevick Berkey lets his first free throw go. He's able to connect. As Trevick had an early three-pointer in the first quarter, but has been quiet since. Now has his 4th point of the night.
The Berkey brothers, great dynamic duo. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to see both of them on the floor together much tonight due to foul trouble, but it's been fun to watch them together last year, and they continue to grow.
That's what's been even more impressive about this run that Shawnee's done. It's happened with Beckett Berkey sitting on the bench, but Zod Burton puts an end to that run as he connects on the State Bank three-pointer.
Yeah, right there. Nice job driving inside. The help came in and way too slow to recover. Can they answer, though?
Jagger Hutchins' three-point shot's going to be a little short. Here comes Peaster as he was met by Trevick Berkey. But Brady Parker going to work in the lane, can't get it to go. Nice save by Caleb Miller.
Man, those two met way up in the air.
And Trevick loses it. Zod Burton with the run out. Nice hesitation as he pulled up and pretty much stopped his momentum so he didn't go into Tate Bender. And great body control to get that one up for 2.
Yeah, good job getting back to a spot by Bender, but you're absolutely right. Just kind of slowing that momentum down a little bit made it so Bender couldn't take a charge.
In and out for Bender, but Ojo there for the rebound. So now Bender going to go into the lane, can't get that one to go. So it's going to get tipped around and finally going to be controlled by LCC. Easter step back 3. That one's going to be off the mark, but Pretty right there for the putback. Jordan Pretty having himself a nice game.
Yeah, got away with a little bit of push down low.
He's strong, though, man. I mean, you're absolutely right, but you got to make the ref make that call by getting a better box out on him, get a body into him. And right there, they're just not able to do so.
Caleb Miller with the basketball, gets it over to Ojo. Ojo looking for somewhere to go with it. Ends up back in the hands of Miller, who lets the offense reset. Hutchins works against Peaster. Right now, Shawnee a little bit slow with that ball movement. Almost kind of looks like they're unsure of where they want to go with it.
Give Hutchins a block touch right here. He's not even looking for the ball, though.
Miller going to let this one go, and that one's going to be no good as we got some pushing going on underneath as Jagger Hutchins just picked up his 3rd foul. As Peaster did a great job of getting in the head of Jagger Hutchins and causes him to pick up that foul.
He better be careful because he's talking to the official. He did push. He actually pushed trying to get himself open on the low box, and they didn't find him. And he did push on the rebound, so that was a good call. Jagger's a little bit frustrated with how things have gone for him here in the opening half.
Yeah, right now Shawnee just has to manage the emotions, right? They're all kind of getting frustrated. They're not getting the looks that they're used to getting. Their size hasn't been a good advantage for them. And so they just need to settle down a little bit, get back into what they do best, work the ball around and get some good looks on offense. But it starts on the defensive end here. Need a big stop.
LCC on a 7-0 run since the timeout taken by Coach Powell as this one's going to go out of bounds and it'll stay with LCC. You know, Mark, we've talked about that not just in this game, but also earlier in the consolation game, the teams being coachable coming out of timeouts, where early in the season you don't always see that as Jeff Williams comes up with a State Bank three-pointer. The fact that we've been able to see that out, I think, really out of all 4 teams here tonight has been really impressive this early in the season.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the play has been pretty good. That's going to be a foul. It's going to go against LCC. But I think I've been pretty impressed with how the teams have kind of come out of timeouts or quarter breaks and execute things the coaches wanted them to do.
So that foul is going to get called on Brady Parker, and it's going to be his 2nd.
These 2 teams are getting after it, man. It's been fun to watch. 2 teams really want to win this basketball game, claim the Lima title, if you will. sure Lima Senior would have something to say about that. But either way, it's been fun basketball to watch here this weekend.
13-point game, LCC on top, but Shawnee trying to mount a comeback. Here's Bender. Gets that one off the glass, but a little bit too far underneath the basket. Rebound comes down to the T-Birds. That one's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by, I believe they're going to say last touch by Shawnee. See Ojo comes back in as Caleb Miller will take a seat.
Well, due to foul trouble, Shawnee's best scorer and, according to last night's stats, third best scorer, both on the bench for extended periods of time here in the second quarter. You can see them struggling on the offensive end because of it.
1:07 left to go here in the half. LCC with the basketball. Our presenting sponsor tonight is Pat's Donuts and Cream. Visit any of our 4 area locations, including our newest location at 600 South Cable Road next to LCC, open daily. Pretty drives, gets cut off, has to kick it back out. Styles almost able to take that one, but Jeff Williams gathers it in. Pretty working against Berkey. Not much of a challenge that time as he let that floater go. Can't get it to connect, but Bender can't gather it in before it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, things not really going Shawnee's way here. They can't grab that rebound. They're still allowing LCC to get penetration, get to the rim, get some decent looks.
Long inbounds all the way to the backcourt. Drew Peaster gathers it in, drops it off to Jeff Williams. 25 seconds left to go here in the half.
Got popcorn on the floor here in the corner. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but getting awfully close to the court. See if they try to ISO here instead of high ball screen. Gonna ISO
Williams
with
just
Williams.
going to take it himself, and he is going to be fouled.
Shawnee with a foul to give, so they take it there to keep him from getting to the basket and getting a good look. Now LCC with a chance. Out of baseline out of bounds.
That went along against Matthew Styles. It was his first. As it looks like we're going to have a substitution come in for LCC.
It's a late substitution. They're going to send 13 Jaden Davis, big body in there. Might watch him to pin something down here. Try to get a look at the basket. It's going to be Williams.
Williams has to get rid of it quickly. Extra pass over to Davis. Davis lets the three-pointer go, and that is just off the mark. But it has been all LCC here in the first half, 33-20. We're going to go to Mark Shine, who's over there with Coach Triplett.
Coach, you had a really good start defensively to quarter number 2, but it got away from you a little bit. Your thoughts at halftime?
We're not competing well enough. LCC's beating us to every loose ball. We're not finishing at the rim. We're not playing team basketball. We got 2 guys with 3 fouls right now. We're not playing well. We're just getting out competed.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
So you heard Coach Triplett frustrated with that first half. He knows that they can play better, and I imagine as they go into the locker room, that is going to be the message that he delivers. We're going to step aside. We'll be back with the halftime show by Lima Chevrolet Cadillac. Don't go anywhere. You're watching boys high school basketball on WOSN. Welcome back to the Atlanta Fieldhouse. It is halftime of the championship game of the Tip-Off Classic, and our halftime show was brought to you by Lima Chevrolet Cadillac, the area's premier Chevrolet and Cadillac dealer in the greater Lima area. Serving Lima for over 100 years, we are proud to call this home. Nate Garlock alongside Evan Skilleter and Mark Shine. And Evan, you know, we said that this was going to be a good matchup, but I think everybody would be a little bit surprised. If I told you at halftime it was going to be a 33-20 game, I don't think a lot of people would have thought it had been LCC on top 33-20.
No, and if you would have told me at halftime it was an LCC 13-point lead, I would have said, well, who was in foul trouble, right? And right now for Shawnee, 2 of their leading scorers are in foul trouble. And, hey, one of the hardest things that a broadcaster has to do is interview the coach that's either losing at halftime or has lost the game. So, Mark Shine, nice job there. I know Coach Triplett is certainly frustrated with his team's effort.
And I appreciate Coach coming and talking to us a little bit, too, because that's a hard thing to do, and it's particularly when you want to get into your locker room and talk to your team at halftime. Want to do some quick numbers really quick? Okay, Shawnee's 5 of 12 from 2-point range, 2 of 9 from the 3-point line. They've made all 4 of their free throws. LCC 6 of 17, but they have made 5 of 11 from the three-point line, 6 of 10 at the free throw line. 17 rebounds LCC, 3 offensive, 14 rebounds Shawnee, 3 offensive. LCC has just 1 turnover to 7 for Shawnee.
Outside of about a 3-minute game stretch, it has been all LCC in the first half. They have the big 33-20 lead. We are being entertained by a staple of the Tip-Off Classic, the cheerleading show. All 4 cheerleading squads coming together to put on a great show. We're going to enjoy this. We'll step aside. We'll be back with the third quarter here on WOSN. Welcome back to the Lida Fieldhouse. Mark Shine standing by with Coach Powell.
Coach Powell, you got off to a great start in the basketball game. Your first quarter was outstanding.
Yes, I felt like our boys got out the vans ready to go. With a young team, that's always something that you're worried about, but they put in the work, and this is their moment. So first half, they played very well, and we just want to repeat that in the second half.
Well, they got the lead down to 5. What'd you talk about the timeout that got them going again?
It's all the small stuff. Get back to doing the small stuff. Passing one pass away and not try to skip it. Jump stop at the rim. And defensively, cut off the paint.
Thanks, Coach. Back to you guys.
You know, you heard it. Coach Powell said that he just thinks that his team got back to doing the little things there, as Shawnee had started to mount a comeback, and they did it all with Beckett Berkey on the bench, made it just a one possession game. But a very timely timeout by Coach Powell. He got the guys regrouped. You heard about what he talked about with them. And then they listened. And we talked about it a little bit in that first half, but a young team, this LCC team very much is. And for them to be able to respond to that coaching has to make Coach Powell feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't wait to see how they respond in this second half, right? How does this young team keep the lead and continue to do those little things well? Well, look, there's 2 guys that are big for Shawnee that are in foul trouble, and I expect them to attack them early and to try to get them even deeper into foul trouble, get one of them with 4. That's Beckett Berkey and Jagger Hutchins.
You know, Mark, 2 very different interviews with the coaches. You know, Coach Triplett not happy at all with his team's effort, very frustrated, especially with his 2 upperclassmen and the foul trouble that they're in. Coach Powell on the other side happy with what his young team did there in the first half.
Well, I think you're right. And first of all, I appreciate both coaches taking time to talk with us, share their thoughts a little bit. The basketball is going to belong to LCC here to start the quarter. I think we always talk about coming out of halftime, how important it is. I think this is a really important halftime. Is Shawnee able to come back, to get on the floor, get organized, get things done that Coach wants to do, or can LCC continue to play at the high pace they played so far?
You know, Mark, I'm always fascinated by, basically the leaders of the team who are in foul trouble early and how they adjust coming out of, especially like halftime when you're in foul trouble early, because it's hard to change the way that you play. But Beckett Berkey has to. He can't afford any more fouls here in this third quarter.
And that time, Pretty just went around. Trevick Berkey was able to score to get a good start for the quarter for Lima Central Catholic.
Well, and he challenged Hutchins at the basket, who wasn't able to be as aggressive as he normally is.
Three-pointer by Beckett Berkey, no good. It's going to get knocked out of bounds by LCC, stays with the Indians. You see Beckett trying to come out and make an impact right away after having to sit the vast majority of that first half. They've got to find a way to get going here very quickly as Berkey lets another one go, but Trevick there for the cleanup. And that was what this team was missing in the first half, was that yin and yang that are the Berkey brothers.
Well, when one shoots and misses, it's nice to have the other one with that length inside. And when one or the other is missing, you're right. They're missing that length. And again, Pretty able to get inside and attack, but not able to finish.
Nice challenge that time by Jagger Hutchins, just enough to force Pretty a little bit off of his mark. So rebound down to the Indians. Here's Trevick working against Pretty. Pretty hits the ground, and I think that caught Berkey a little bit off guard as he lost his footing a little bit. Off-balance shot was no good.
Well, there's an obstacle on the floor too, right? You kind of have that footwork worked out in your head, and then all of a sudden you've got to get off balance to get around somebody. Nice shot right there from the freshman Burton.
Pull-up jumper by Zod Burton is good. He has his first 2 of the half.
I like these 2 freshmen, Jeff Williams and Azad Burton, both doing a really, really nice job. They move the ball well. They can both score. They can both get inside the lane. They're quick, good teammates as well.
And they don't seem to be rattled by being on the big stage for freshmen. They just play like they've been out here for a while.
Zod did pick up the foul on that time, though. That's his first of the game. As you see Coach Triplett getting an explanation from the official. Tate Bender triggers the inbound, gets it into Hutchins. Here's Beckett working against Parker. Trying to get underneath. Nice job by Parker cutting off the lane. Trevick Berkey's shot up and no good. And a great job by Jackson White to go up and get that rebound.
It was a really nice rebound from White. Went straight up, right? He is behind the defender, but he doesn't come into him for the foul.
Rebound comes down to Trevick Berkey, as right now both teams are a little bit cold offensively. Third quarter just underway. Our quarter sponsor tonight is Washam Plumbing and Heating, providing residents and businesses of Lima as well as the surrounding communities with plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services. Call 419-339-0729. Beckett Berkey pull-up floater in the lane, no good. Rebound comes down to Pretty. Maybe got away with a little bit of the travel there. Now he's going to push the pace, pulls up for two. That one's good.
Got to find him in transition. He can do it all. That time he steps into a three. No one with him, extends the lead to 18.
Largest lead out of the game so far for the Thunderbirds. As Zod Burton tried to get rid of that one quickly, and Jackson White might have caught the worst end of that.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. You'll see the replay here. Never feels good.
Nice look at the out-of-bounds play there by Ultimate Outdoor. Ultimate Outdoor, our instant replay sponsor tonight. Bring resort-style living to your backyard every day with a luxury outdoor space by Ultimate Outdoor. Pretty on the run out, able to get that one down. He now has 6 in the quarter, and it is a 20-point LCC lead.
Yeah, 18 overall, just fearlessly attacking the basket right there, not worried about anything. In fact, might have had a foul on his mind, trying to get those guys back into foul trouble, but right now, hasn't mattered. LCC not afraid of this size, length, and skill from Shawnee as Hutchins fires for 3 and finally gets one to go. It's felt for him like there's been a lid on the basket since the middle of the first quarter.
Jagger Hutchins with the State Bank three-pointer. Contact the State Bank for all your banking and financial services needs. Visit yourstatebank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We have a timeout on the floor. We'll take it as well and be back on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's timeouts are brought to you by Metzger Financial Services, helping you plan your financial future. Call 419-225-6067 or visit MetzgerFinancialServices.com. Also like to thank tonight's scoreboard sponsor, Webb Insurance Agency. Webb Insurance Agency serving Lima and Allen County for more than 100 years with offices in downtown Lima and Bluffton. 4:45 left to go in the third. Coming out of the timeout, Jeff Williams. I believe he was fouled. I didn't see who they got that one on.
It's either Ojo or Bender, I believe.
Wait to see when they put it up on the board, and that's going to go against Tate Bender, actually. As that will be Bender's second.
Pester just went right at Hutchins right there. He knew Hutchins cannot be physical, cannot be aggressive because of those 3 fouls, so he goes right through him to the bucket and the score.
Drew Pester had an incredible first quarter, but then was held scoreless in the second, getting off to a good start here in the third as Beckett is trying to plead for a tip ball, but the officials are saying no. Turnover by the Indians.
That's the 9th Shawnee turnover, and LCC still setting at just 1.
Great job taking care of the basketball. Good ball movement throughout. Ooh, missed the roll right there. Look at him go. Jeff Williams all over the place, dribbling through the defense. Running the 5 out. Now Peaster goes inside. Running a little 4 out, 1 in.
And Parker trying to direct traffic, working through the screen. Zon Burton comes out to get it. And here's Peaster working against Hutchins. Pretty's going to drive. Nobody closes out. Easy layup for Jordan Pretty.
Pretty is just unafraid. He goes to the basket and he lays it in just like it's a layup drill, right? There's two big defenders around him, and he doesn't look bothered at all by the defense. Really nice take.
46-25, LCC on top as Trevick Berkey works against Zod. Burton does a nice job to draw the contact and get the foul. That'll be the second on Burton.
Yeah, good look at the replay right here. Just a little bit of body contact up top.
I think that's something that Coach Triplett liked. The ball went down inside to draw contact, had a 6-inch height advantage, and used it to get to the free throw line.
And Mark, I think that's one of the first times we've seen them post up on the block. And again, I know these guys are tall wings. They like to play outside, but sometimes you have to get inside and use that height to your advantage.
Trevick goes 2 for 2 from the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken free throw
stop
line.
it.
But Jeff Williams, coast to coast, gets those 2 points right back, and then Trevick Berkey goes right at that LCC defense. He gets Brady Parker to leave his feet, gets it to go down, and picks up the foul.
A really good finish right there, but I'm still in awe of Jeff Williams dribbling through the entire press. Just takes it all by himself through every defender and lays it in as Shawnee not quick enough to help.
The play at each end in the last 30 seconds has been tremendous. The contact he just took to score and complete the 3-point play.
So Brady Parker's going to check out. He has 3 fouls now. And now we're going to have a travel call, so a turnover for LCC. Shawnee getting a little bit of momentum going their way now.
Yeah, Pretty just got ahead of himself right there trying to break the press.
That's a summer open gym move.
Yeah, it is.
You get away with it then. Now you're in a contest with officiating, and it gets called.
And good officials, too. These guys have done a nice job tonight calling a physical contest.
Guess where the ball went again?
Yep, there we go.
Now Shawnee
starting to get it inside.
Yep, trying to take advantage of those mismatches on the inside. Beckett Berkey gets his first 2 points of the, or excuse me, just his 4th points of the game, and we have 2:50 left to go here in this one. Or excuse me, in the third quarter.
Going to play a big zone now.
Yeah, this is that 1-2-2 we talked about in the pregame where they'll use that length to extend a little bit, and that's kind of an easy turnover there.
This is the same defense they played when they went to the state tournament a couple of years ago. It can be very, very effective with the length that they have. There are gaps to drive through, and you've got to be very adept at doing so. If not, you're going to be caught up in those big, tall traps.
Once down by 22, it is now just a 16-point lead, and they are forcing turnovers out of LCC. Beckett Berkey turnaround jumper. Beckett Berkey starting to heat up.
Well, he clearly didn't expect to be that open. Right there, he got the ball, no one in front of him, and just kind of paused. Then realized he had it and was able to pull up for the 2, and then Pretty at the other end. He's just making it look easy.
That is now 10 in the quarter for
That's
Jordan
what
Pretty.
happens when you can dribble drive through the trap. And a player as athletic and as skillful as he is with the basketball.
22 points on the night. Berkey pulls up. That one's no good. Jeff Williams right there to try to take that one away from Bender, and he's going to get called for the foul.
That's actually going to be number 4 on Williams. Is that right?
No, I don't. No, that's not right.
It says 3 on the board right now, but I'm not sure. It is his 4th foul.
That is
the
4th on
Williams.
Jeff. I missed a couple out of him. So Jeff Williams with 4 fouls, as he has been big for this team here in the second half. Todd Burton comes up with that rebound.
That's tough. It looked like they were all over the arms of Berkey right there as he drove inside.
Back out to a 16-point lead, 50-34. 1:35 left to go here in the third.
They're playing zone, but they shifted it because they got Styles on top of it now. And now they switch back, and they get Trevick Berkey out there.
And we're going to have a travel.
He's got lazy.
Yeah, lost kind of where he was and what was going on. So the ball is going to go back to the Indians. Our presenting sponsor tonight is Pat's Donuts and Cream. Visit any of our 4 area locations, including our newest location at 600 South Cable Road next to LCC, open daily.
Trying to post up again. Good defense inside by Parker. Now Berkey running around. That's Beckett.
Beckett got a little bit of space. That's off the back of the rim. Ojo comes flying in, trying to save it. Great hustle by him, but him and Trevick were kind of occupying the same space, and I think that limited their ability to save that one from going out of bounds.
See what LCC does here on this press. They made 3 seemingly unforced errors on the last 3 possessions, 2 travels, and once they were just standing out of bounds.
So minute 4 left to go. Jeff Williams back into this one. They're trying to trade some offense for defense. Seeing some pressure here from the Indians. Parker for 3. No good.
That's what the Indians want right there, a quick shot.
And if I'm Shawnee, I'm finding Jeff Williams, and I'm going to try to attack him with those 4 fouls.
Williams right now on the other side guarding Caleb Miller.
Styles working against Pretty.
Trevick Berkey trying to post up on the near block.
Berkey going to drive, goes inside. Jeff Williams did a nice job of pulling back. He was there, couldn't challenge, didn't want to pick up that 5th foul. And it was unnecessary as Beckett was a little strong on that layup.
Now a chance for the last shot for LCC. Trying to send Pretty to the backside.
Burton loses the basketball on the floor. Somehow ends up in the hands of Peaster. Going to get it over to Pretty. 3-pointer on its way. That one's no good. After 3, LCC on top. They've extended their lead 50-34. We'll step aside and be back on WOSN. Welcome back. 4th quarter just about underway here at the Lima Fieldhouse. Our quarter sponsor is Washam Plumbing and Heating, providing residents and businesses of Lima as well as the surrounding communities with plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services. Call 419-339-0729. LCC with a big 50-34 lead as we begin the 4th quarter. Nate Garlock alongside Evan Skilleter and Mark Shine. And guys, this game hasn't really gone the way that I think a lot of people thought. LCC has been very impressive here tonight.
Shawnee's done a nice job in the second half, slowing them down, and a nice look there to Trevick Berkey, who makes no mistake. I like what Shawnee's done defensively, but offensively too. They've done a nice job getting looks at the rim, whether it be a post-up or through a nice cut. Now they just need to slow LCC down, get a couple possessions back.
Tell you what, how much faith does Coach Powell have in the freshman Jeff Williams out there still with 4 fouls? Actually, they've adjusted it now. It's only 3 up there. So I think we were right. When we thought there was 4 fouls earlier, they were wrong. He's back down to just 3. Williams, nice job to get Berkey to leave his feet, adjust, but can't get it to go in. The run out coming back down to Berkey. Back-to-back slams for Trevick Berkey.
Yeah, Coach Powell might think about a timeout here, or at least wants to signal to his team to slow the heck down. Because right now, Shawnee, 2 dunks in a row. That'll get a crowd fired up, and they almost gave it right back.
Here's Jordan Pretty trying to answer with a 3-pointer. That one's going to be no good. Max Goldsberry comes up with the rebound. Woo! As Jeff Williams got up. I mean, he was up higher than the scorer's table with that one to knock that one out. So take a look at the Ultimate Outdoor Instant Replay, the dunk by Trevick Berkey. Shawnee trying to mount a comeback. That one's going to get knocked out of bounds by Jeff Williams.
Well, what they do, they've got Trevick Berkey on the top of that 1-2-2 zone. So he's able to leak out and get out uncontested and get that dunk like he had a moment ago.
Yeah, and it's a great point because it definitely looks like it's by design because guys are grabbing the ball and just throwing it to the other side of the court like they're expecting someone to be there.
Yeah.
Well, and remember, Mark, you alluded to this earlier. back in the late 2020s or 2010s, Shawnee did a really nice job with that, and George Mangus would be the guy that leaked out, and everyone remembers how good George Mangus was.
Tate Bender with a nice box out of Jeff Williams as he goes up and gets the offensive rebound, and Shawnee has cut this down to a 10-point lead. We got a Metzger Financial Services timeout. We'll take it as well and be back on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's timeouts are brought to you by Metzger Financial Services, helping you plan your financial future. Call 419-225-6067 or visit MetzgerFinancialServices.com. LCC with the 10-point lead, but they have seen that lead dwindle as it was a 16-point lead to begin this quarter. And Mark, Shawnee has been very resilient. They've come back. They started this quarter off really well. We saw them make a run earlier in this game, and Coach Powell took a timeout and got his team refocused. Do you think the message was the same this time?
Well, I'm a little curious because now this is about how to attack this half-court trap that they're dealing with and what to do with it defensively if they got to get back if they don't score. So this was more of a strategy type thing as opposed to momentum type thing.
Here's Pretty, going to go baseline. Has to kick it back out. Burton gathers this one in.
LCC not bothered by a long possession. Oh, already over a minute on the first one of the quarter.
Burton out as they work that baseline. Pretty with a lot of space. Gets to the rim, but can't quite get it to go down. Here comes the Indians. Beckett Berkey into all sorts of contact as we're going to have a foul. This one's going to go against Pretty, I believe. Maybe Peaster. It's going to go against Peaster.
Beckett knew exactly what he was going to do with that one too, right? Just went right to the lane, put his head down, grabbed the ball almost like a running back and forced them to foul him.
Well, they want to get to the rim and score, but they also would be happy to score and draw contact and get that three-point play opportunity.
Goldsberry with the basketball, gets it over to Berkey. Beckett going to drive against Parker, can't get that one to go. Goldsberry comes in with a strong rebound, and I believe we're going to have a jump ball. We are. Possession arrow favors the Thunderbirds.
Well, really nice job. You'll see on the replay. Nice job just sliding with Berkey. Brady Parker does a nice job using his body, not creating too much contact and just making it tough for Berkey to do anything.
Pressure from the Indians. Burton looking for somewhere to go with it. Gets it over to Brady Parker. Parker's going to drive. Has this one blocked by Goldsberry.
Nice job by Goldsberry there. Help defense sliding over. Last-ditched effort.
Bender, step back. Three is good. Tate Bender with a State Bank three-pointer.
That's big time from Bender. As his defender lost his footing, Bender took a step back, hit that three into single digits within 7.
Tate Bender with 5 points here in the quarter. Just hit his second State Bank three-pointer of the game. 4:45 left to go in this one. Trevick Berkey reaches out with that long reach of his, takes that one away, gets it to go down, and he's going to go to Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken free throw line.
Yeah, that's too easy right there. You've got to get to the block and set your feet. Cut off the lane to the basket right there. Trevick able to slide right past the defender and score. And I don't know, I mean, not a lot of contact there, but either way, that defense needs to be better.
You know, and Mark, you could see on the Ultimate Outdoor Instant Replay there the shot from Zod Burton, but do you think that this is where that youth of LCC can be exposed?
Yeah, I would think that's correct. They need to get a solid possession here, but they're struggling with this 1-2-2 trap. And then when they do get a look, they got to poke away the foul. When they struggle with that 1-2-2 trap, they get an open look, they rush it a little bit, they haven't been able to score.
I think that was contact from behind on Bender right there.
Agreed.
Shawnee fans not happy about it, but he did come from behind and make the contact on the back of the offensive player. So good call there, Shawnee. They're okay. They can settle down right now. It's a 4-point game. You're playing great defense. You've got the other team sweating.
Burton trying to get to the rim. He's going to draw the contact. He'll make a trip to the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken free throw line. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, located in Wapak, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Locally owned and operated, Lee's is not just famous for chicken, we're famous for catering too.
Well, 3.5 minutes into this quarter, and this is LCC's not scored yet unless he makes these free throws. There you go.
Well, and the best way to beat a zone defense is either ball movement or penetration from the outside, and right there, a nice job getting to the rack. Goldsberry almost able to go vertical, but too much contact. 1 of 2, though. Shawnee just down 5.
Especially this zone, because it's so big and spreads you out so far, you have to get inside.
Beckett Berkey, fall away three-pointer, no good. Tate Bender right there to clean it up. Tate Bender having himself a quarter. That's now 7 in the quarter and 14 on the game.
Big layup right there from Parker, though. Goes right through the contact, and then they mess up at the other end. Williams not able to hit, and he gets tacked with his actual 4th foul after.
That's some frustration right there coming out from Jeff Williams. And that's just part of the growth as a player, as a freshman. You know, it is hard. It's a big jump from 8th grade junior high basketball to varsity basketball, especially at this level. And after the momentum swing and just the motion swing of this one, you miss that layup, and then you pick up that emotional foul, and that's 4 here in the game.
And right away his coach went to him and hugged him and talked to him. Great job of coaching.
And so did 2 of his teammates, by the way, which is excellent culture.
Berkey, all sorts of contact working against Brady Parker. Brady Parker just picked up his 4th foul.
Parker doesn't like that, but it looks like those arms come down. We'll get a good look at it right here.
Right there.
Berkey go down, and then, that arm comes down and hits both arms of Berkey. Good call from the referees, who, again, Mark, I think have called a really nice game tonight.
I would agree with that.
I mean, Brady Parker's not wrong. He did get his hands, they were up, but after he brought them down and delivered that contact.
That's Shawnee's first missed free throw tonight.
So Beckett Berkey not able to connect on his first from the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken free throw line. Second shot coming up. That one is good. Beckett Berkey with just 7 points here tonight, but they've been impactful. And we're going to have an offensive foul on the other side.
Let's take a look at it again. You can see the penetration dribble, but the good job of getting set up, taking the contact with the shoulder. That'll be the 7th turnover of the game for the LCC Thunderbirds.
Now Beckett's going to get the side pick and roll from Trevick.
Here comes Beckett driving into the lane. The floater up and good. Beckett Berkey now with 9 points. This is a 2-point game. You got to give a lot of credit to Beckett Berkey. He picked up those 3 fouls in the first half, missed probably 90% of the first and second quarter, but he has made his impact felt here in the second half. But Jordan Pretty not ready to let this one go yet. Gets that one to go down. LCC out to the 4-point game, and we have a timeout on the floor. LCC 55, Shawnee 51, 2:54 left to go. We'll step aside and be back on WOSA. Welcome back. Tonight's timeouts are brought to you by Metzger Financial Services, helping you plan your financial future. Call 419-225-6067 or visit MetzgerFinancialServices.com. 2:54 left to go in this one. LCC with the 4-point lead, but Shawnee feels like they have really taken control of this one, and all the momentum seems to be on their side.
I really like that last LCC possession. Put the ball in Jordan Pretty's hands, your most experienced player, probably your best player, and let him go to work, and he scored for him.
We'll see what Shawnee drew up coming out of the timeout. Tate Bender with the basketball, gets it over to Hutchins. Hutchins with the adjustment, back over to Berkey. Berkey, 3-pointer, no good. Trevick there for the rebound, and they're going to say last touch by Trevick.
Man, I don't know. I think the side referee is going to have a quick chat. We're going to get a look at it too, but that looks like it goes off of Azad.
It's hard to see on that one, as it's a long reach by Trevick. I don't know how you can change it after that one. That one was pretty close.
The initial call goes
and
the way
they are. They're going to give it back to Shawnee.
Unless that out official is 100% sure, it has to go the way it's originally called.
Take a look at it again. Quick inbound. That one's no good. Beckett almost comes up with that rebound, but great job by Jackson White to secure it.
Yeah, there's a lot going on underneath the basket. They try to give it to Hutchins to go up and score, but he has a lot of bodies to try to go up over top of and just not enough space. Now Shawnee trying to trap up high. Still 3 timeouts for LCC if they need them.
Here's Burton trying to work through some traffic. They get it over to Pretty. Pretty was real close to that end line, had to let that one go up, and it looked like Berkey might have gotten a little piece of that.
Yeah, nice job by Berkey, too. He got in good position to take a charge, which forced Pretty to just float one up, and Berkey was quick enough with the hand to at least alter the shot, if not tip it, like you said.
Any LCC foul puts Shawnee on the free throw line.
Here's Beckett looking to drive, gets into the paint. As he gets that one to go in, and he picks up the foul. And on top of that, Brady Parker just fouled out of this one.
Man, Berkey, you can see why they were missing him in the first half, right? He does such a nice job getting to the rim. He's able to take contact on his way down, and right there with the left hand scoops it around Parker to get the foul and the harm. My goodness, this is incredible from Beckett Berkey here in the fourth quarter.
Beckett Berkey looks to make this a 1-point game, and he does. 12 points on the night now for Beckett Berkey. I believe all 12 of those have come here in the second half. Jeff Williams back on the floor. He has 4 fouls. Brady Parker has fouled out. Williams gets cut off, has to kick it back out. Jackson White gives it back over to Williams.
And Shawnee with just 2 fouls, so they might consider a foul or 2 here shortly. And Coach Parker's going to take a timeout.
LCC takes the timeout. Coach Powell wanting to make sure they did not lose that possession. We'll step aside as well and be back on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's timeouts are brought to you by Metzger Financial Services, helping you plan your financial future. Call 419-225-6067 or visit MetzgerFinancialServices.com. Tonight's scoreboard is brought to you by Webb Insurance Agency. Webb Insurance Agency is serving Lima and Allen County for more than 100 years with offices in downtown Lima and Bluffton. 1-point game. LCC still with the lead, 55-54. They have led through the entirety of this one. But a minute 21 left to go, and Shawnee has all the momentum.
Yeah, and again, Shawnee with just 2 fouls, so I do imagine at some point here, if they can't get a trap, might see them foul, start to get closer to that 5 in case they need to later.
They changed Pretty's location in the press offense. Now he's out near midcourt instead of being in the corner.
And now another.
White, and that is the 3rd time that Jackson White has been called for the travel. And it was, as he definitely crossed his feet after he had that picked up. Good call by the officials.
That's 3 unforced turnovers against this press. It's hard enough to dribble through it and not get the ball stolen, but when you just hand it back to the other team, that's got to be frustrating.
Here's Trevitt on the wing, works against Burton. Gets it over to Bender, who puts it back in the hands of Hutchins. Trevitt's going to let the 3-pointer go. It rattles around and it goes down. Trevitt Berkey with the State Bank 3-pointer gives Shawnee a 2-point lead, and it is their first lead of the game. We got a full timeout on the floor. We'll step aside as well, and we'll be back on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's timeouts are brought to you by Metzger Financial Services, helping you plan your financial future. Call 419-225-6067 or visit MetzgerFinancialServices.com. Welcome back. The Elida Fieldhouse is getting loud as the Shawnee faithful are on their feet. They have come all the way back from a 22-point deficit. They have a 2-point lead with 35 seconds left to go.
It's still plenty of time, and look at that, the freshman with ice in his veins.
He ties it up, 57 apiece. And there's another timeout. We're going to keep it here for this one as you check it out the replay here on Ultimate Outdoor.
Again, just a really, really tough shot right there from the freshman. Azad Burton having a big night tonight. So far, 14 points, and you'll get a look here at the replay. Just goes off the dribble, gets Bender to go a little bit deeper on that angle, so he pulls up and drains it. Really nice job there. Now a Shawnee timeout.
And Mark, you can't be anything but impressed with these freshmen from LCC.
Absolutely. When he made that move, I thought this is not going to end well. But his confidence level and his skill level to take that over Bender down 2 with under 30 seconds to go, that young man has a future, and it's going to be in 2024-25 and not down the road, because he has played really well tonight, and that was a huge shot right there.
Absolutely. Him and Jeff Williams, they both have had a fantastic night. You know, this LCC team wasn't really sure what they were going to have coming into this season. They lost some to graduation, into transfers. They had a lot of holes that they had to plug, but I'll tell you what, they have looked fantastic tonight. We see Matthew Quatman checking into the game. He is a force on defense. You know, now, Mark, if you're Shawnee, everybody in the gym knows where this ball most likely is going to end up, and that's in the hands of Beckett Berkey. How do you get it there?
Well, what they want to do is get him on the low box if they can, but they want to make sure they have the last shot so this thing goes, either they win or it goes overtime. And,
So LCC, is going to have an opportunity here, and Zod Burton just fouled out with his 5th foul. And Trevick Berkey is going to go to the free throw line, looking to see if he can't make this a 2-point game.
They ran that back screen lob earlier than I would have thought of it, and they caught LCC surprised by doing it. I think LCC was playing, okay, we know we're going to get a last shot. They may even call one more timeout before they get a last shot. Instead, they went right at it right there. That was a really good coaching move by Coach Triplett.
That's where my head was too, Mark. I thought for sure they were going to wait until maybe 10 seconds left, take a timeout and draw up a play from the sideline, but instead a really nice pass, a good grab, and like you said, they foul him out.
And here's a team that has made, 10 out of 11 free throws this evening.
So Trevick Berkey going to go to the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken free throw line. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken located in Walpole, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Locally owned and operated, Lee's is not just famous for chicken, we're famous for catering too.
So they bring in Jaden Davis, who, by the way, is a great shooter. He doesn't play a ton, but the guy can knock it down from outside. So another guy Shawnee will have to look out for, but they've got some work to do here on this free throw.
Trevick Berkey misses the first. He'll still have one more shot.
Each team has a timeout remaining, and Shawnee has only committed 2 fouls. So they can be aggressive, run some clock, and bump them.
And for what it's worth, possession arrow favors Shawnee.
Second shot is good. 1-point game, 15.5. Jeff Williams going to go quickly, as he's going to try to go all the way to the rim, and we're going to have a whistle.
That's a good foul.
Yeah, definitely. Williams, we've seen him break the press all by himself, so right there Shawnee did a nice job reaching in to stop him with the foul, and he tries to fly on the ground to get a little bit extra there, but either way, gets the foul. That's 3 against Shawnee.
And you see the official talking to him, and I think it may be, hey, nobody touched you. We can't throw ourselves like that. Don't make me have to call a very unnecessary foul.
And they can do that foul situation one more time if they want, like right there.
So now 10 seconds left to go as Shawnee now have used all of their fouls.
We're going to send Caleb Miller in. You talked about his defense earlier.
Well, here's the situation. Because he was so aggressive to the rim, they had to call those 2 fouls quickly and early instead of getting it down under 7 seconds or so before they had to start doing that.
Jordan Priddy going to trigger the inbounds, gets it into the hands of Williams. 8 seconds left to go. Williams looking to drive, works against Bender. Williams reverses it off the glass, offensive rebound to LCC. Jordan Priddy can't get it to go down. 1.7 seconds left to go, and he's going to make a trip to the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken free throw line.
Yep, definitely fouled right there. Trevick Berkey had an arm on him as he goes up. So 2 free throws for Priddy. Jagger Hutchins will check back in. Shawnee players urging their crowd to get loud.
Jordan Priddy can't get the first one to go.
Shawnee has a timeout. They'd have to take it the full length of the floor. But Priddy needs to make this free throw. 24 points tonight for Priddy.
Jordan
25
Priddy,
to tie it.
Jordan Priddy, second shot on its way, and it is good. We are tied at 58. 1.7 seconds left to go. Shawnee going to take the timeout. They're going to take the full timeout. We're going to stay right here, guys. This gym is as loud as it has been all night long. The Elida Fieldhouse, absolutely electric right now. This atmosphere, this environment, everything happening right now, this is everything that the Tip-Off Classic is about.
It is, and for both of these teams, it prepares you for the next 20 games to come to play in this type of environment, to play this type of competition, and to be in these tight situations just makes you better as the season goes along.
Evan, obviously Shawnee with only 1.7 seconds left to go in this one, not a ton of time, but it's also not impossible to get yourself at least a semi-decent look at it. How do you think that they're going to try to get them open?
So right now they've got Beckett Bertkey underneath the basket. He's a tall option for them if they want to go up top and try to get an easy one at the basket. I'll try to get his attention and see if he'll tell us what they're looking for. I'm just kidding here.
He's going to get a screen from Hutchins and get the ball right around midcourt.
I can see that happening as well. Or if Hutchins wants to slip the screen and go all the way to the basket for the deep pass, we might see that as well.
Yeah, they made the switch they needed to. Jeff Williams in the middle there was going to be a bad matchup if Berkey goes up and gets it at midcourt. You saw Peaster now drop back as Coach Powell yelling instructions from the sidelines, trying to get guys lined up. Now they got Williams to the outside, back to the inside. Jeff Williams looking a little confused on where he needs to be.
Well, if Hutchins catches it, he'll be able to get a shot off over Williams. They go Trevick, and that's not going to work.
And that is going to bring regulation to a close. First weekend of high school basketball. Why not a little bit of free basketball, guys? We got overtime. We'll step aside and we'll be back on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's scoreboard is brought to you by Webb Insurance Agency, serving Lima and Allen County for more than 100 years with offices in downtown Lima and Bluffton. Our presenting sponsor for the night is Pat's Donuts and Cream. Visit any of our 4 area locations, including our newest location at 600 South Cable Road next to LCC, open daily. We have overtime in the championship game of the Tip-Off Classic, just how it was meant to be. Shawnee at one point down 22 points, fought their way back, had a small lead. LCC tied it up, and here we are tied at 58 all.
That's a 24-8 quarter for Shawnee. Hence, they're able to get tied up and get into overtime.
Well, if momentum's a real thing, it's on Shawnee's side. But the way I see it, the first half was LCC, second half was Shawnee. Now we got 4 minutes to find out who gets the game.
The other story of this is LCC, has lost 2 big parts of their lineup. Zod Burton and Brady Parker have fouled out of this one. Trevick Berkey on the back door. He gets met up high by Xavier Purnell, and I believe he's going to pick up the foul.
And don't forget, Jeff Williams has 4 fouls as well.
Yep, Jeff Williams playing with 4 fouls. Tate Bender playing with 4 fouls. And then you still have Trevick and Beckett both playing with 3. Trevick nails that first free throw.
Remember, LCC had a chance to win this one. 2 free throws for Jordan Pretty, but only able to hit 1. That was immediately following a 1 for 2 from Trevick Bertkey.
Just fouled out.
I think they called Bender for the foul.
Jeff Williams in a little, I think he might be cramping over here, looking for his teammates' help. As Tate Bender's going to foul out, and I'll tell you what, listen, you got to give all the credit in the world to Jeff Williams on that one. Was there a little bit of contact? Absolutely. Were the officials going to call it? No. It took that extra little bit that Jeff Williams did that really made the official decide that he was going to blow his whistle.
Yeah, and he had to, right? Because the contact created an advantage for Shawnee, and that's exactly the textbook rule. If the contact creates an advantage for the other team and the contact is illegal, they have to blow the whistle.
Well, number 14 had 14 big points for Shawnee tonight.
He did.
He was big in that fourth quarter for sure. 3:40 left to go. Shawnee with the 1-point lead. Jeff Williams working through that traffic. Has to pull it back out as Jagger Hutchins was there to meet him when he tried to get into the paint and trying to find Xavier Purnell underneath as that goes off of his hands and back to the Indians.
Yeah, it was a good look from Williams right there, and honestly not a bad pass, but it was just a little bit low, and I'm not sure that Purnell expected that ball to get to him as quickly as it did.
You're talking about a guy in Xavier Purnell, too, that hasn't played a lot this game, who's only forced into playing action here in overtime due to the guys that have fouled out. Beckett working underneath, has this one knocked away.
Right there, Bertkey got himself into some trouble. Good job. Well, good for him that he got the ball back. Kind of fortunate play.
Yeah, LCC kind of bailed him out on that one. Great job by Beckett Berkey moving through traffic. Able to get that one up and in. Shawnee with the 3-point lead. Jordan Pretty comes down quickly. He has an answer as he puts up 2. Mark, how impressive is Jordan Pretty?
Oh, he really is. And that time he stepped right into the seam of the zone and made that shot from 15.
It'll give and go back to Trevick Berkey working against Purnell. Finds Stiles coming down the lane. Matthew Stiles with his first points of the game. And they come in a big spot to put Shawnee back up 3.
Stiles does exactly what you teach your players to do. You see the back of your defender who's going to help. You got to cut to the basket. He does exactly that, and a good pass by Trevick finds him.
Extra pass over to Pretty. He goes baseline. He is met by Beckett Berkey, but it doesn't matter as Jordan Pretty gets that one to go.
He is putting this team on his back. Nice hard take as he attacks the closeout, absorbs some contact at the rim to get points 28 and 29.
Your most experienced player taking the ball in his hands when his team needed it.
Ojo gets it to Stiles on the inside. Stiles back out to Ojo. Almost threw that one away. Hutchins did a nice job of gathering it back in. Here's Trevick all alone working against Peaster. Goes to the opposite side of the rim. Can't get that one to go. But Peaster and Purnell not on the same page. Last touch by LCC. It's going to stay with the Indians.
Well, he doesn't finish, but I love this strong move right here from Berkey. Maybe gets away with a little wrap there, but he gets to the basket. Good job by Peaster, making sure it's not an easy one, but like you said, it's a little miscommunication. Now Shawnee with the baseline out of bounds as they stack it up with the two Berkey brothers on the blocks.
Matthew Stiles looking to trigger the inbound. Gets it over to Beckett. Beckett on the switch. A rare miss as he misses, usually just not that bad.
Now LCC can be pretty patient here. Just down 1. Look for your shot.
Williams going to go baseline. Kicks it out to Davis. Davis three-pointer on its way. That one's no good as Berkey comes up with the rebound. Pushes it up ahead to Stiles. Stiles gets it into the front court. Lets the offense catch up. 1:18 left to go here in OT. Shawnee with the 1-point lead. They need to be patient. Don't want to force a bad shot here.
LCC with 2 timeouts. Shawnee with 1.
All about ball security here on this possession. Hutchins gets to Stiles. Stiles just moves it back up to Beckett. Under a minute left to go. Beckett guarded by Pretty.
Good patience. Oh, till then, not a good look.
Tried to force it into a tight window to Hutchins, and Ojo comes over, pokes that one out. And we're going to have a timeout first before that one goes out of bounds. A little bit of a scramble there towards the end of that play, but LCC gets the timeout. We'll step aside and be back on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's timeouts are brought to you by Metzger Financial Services, helping you plan your financial future. Call 419-225-6067 or visit MetzgerFinancialServices.com. We had an interesting conversation during that timeout here in the booth, guys. And, Mark, it looked like maybe the officials are going to the scoring table, but everything looks like it's going to stay the same up on the scoreboard.
Everything stayed the same. There's one team foul on each team here in the overtime period.
And the conversation was whether or not overtime is a start of new fouls or if we just carry everything over from the fourth quarter.
Well, what they've done is they've said we start all over again.
And I haven't seen an overtime game in a while, I guess.
Correct.
So that rule could have changed. I'm not familiar.
So either way, 35 seconds left to go. Shawnee with the 1-point lead, LCC with the basketball. Williams working against Ojo. Nice crossover as he gets into the lane, takes a lot of contact from Hutchins. And he is going to go to the free throw line.
They did not call a foul on this play.
Foul. Nope.
I guess it went off of Hutchins' left hand. Either way,
so they did not. Yeah, I thought for sure that whistle was for a foul, but it was because it went out of bounds. There goes Pretty going baseline, has this one rejected, and now we're going to have the foul whistle as Trevick Berkey picks up his 4th foul. Jordan Pretty going to go to the free throw line, shooting 2.
Yeah, it came down over that right arm. It's a good call.
His first step is really good, isn't it?
Man, he's quick. Yeah. And he's strong. He's not afraid. Even if you think that you've caught up and recovered to him, his body and his contact will put you off as well.
Jordan Pretty with 5 here in the overtime period. Now 30 points for the game. He ties this up at 63. He still has one coming from the Lee's Family's Recipe Chicken free throw line. Shot is up, and it is good. LCC now back on top.
Shawnee has one timeout remaining.
So far not taking it. I'm surprised they didn't.
And we have contact as Shawnee almost turned that one over. Matthew Stiles went for it. As looked like Jordan Pretty was going to have a run out. And Matthew Stiles is going to get called for the foul. Jordan Pretty going to go, no, excuse me, it won't be a shooting foul. So it's going to be an out of bounds for LCC. 11.3 seconds left to go, and they have the 1 point lead.
And what's tough, if the fouls do indeed reset, you only have 4 minutes to get 4 fouls and get into bonus.
Well, Coach Triplett told his guys to foul immediately, so that one burned about a second.
So now the next foul will send them to the free throw line.
Coach Triplett still telling his team to foul as Peaster comes back toward us to try to give him an outlet. This is where the length of Shawnee could be helpful.
Now there's a really smart play. Put the ball in his hands, let him go to the free throw line.
So 8.8 seconds left to go. Shawnee will at least have an opportunity, you would at least believe, regardless of what happens here on this trip. Pretty makes the first.
32 points for Pretty.
Matthew Quammen checking into the game. I want him to come in for his defense. And Pretty makes them both. 3-point game, 8.8 seconds left to go. Shawnee's going to take the timeout here. We'll keep it here as well. You know, guys, I don't know about you. I know there's multiple guys who could take this shot. We know Jagger Hutchins has a good three-point shot. We've seen Trevick make a couple of three-pointers tonight as well. But is there any chance that anybody other than Beckett Berkey takes this shot?
Well, here's the situation, though, Nate. LCC has only committed one foul in the overtime. As soon as somebody catches the ball, they're going to foul them. They're going to do it again. They're going to do it again. And they're just going to disrupt anything that Shawnee tries to run here. I'll be surprised if they're able to get a shot off, and maybe in the last second or so, but they're not going to get a clean look the first couple, 3 times to get the ball in bounds.
Do you try to go for a long inbounds here and maybe see if maybe you can't get something with you catching and shooting all at the same time? Take that chance?
You could try. And, of course, you got to worry about then do you foul a 3-point shooter by accident.
Here goes Trevick. Gets it all the way up and actually gets the timeout. A great inbounds that time for Shawnee as they were able to advance it into the front court. So, you thought for sure we were going to see some fouls.
I did.
Yeah, but now after the timeout, Shawnee's going to draw something up, and there's still 3 fouls they can play with. And so you could see, again, LCC be able to run this clock down to about 2 or 1, and Shawnee not able to take a timeout because that was their last one to draw something new up.
And maybe that was the strategy. And Coach said, hey, let them get up into the front court. We'll foul right away. It's a real easy way to eat 3 seconds or so off of the clock, and now they have even less time to try to get something.
Well, even if you foul and they're in the 2-shot bonus, you're ahead.
Exactly, absolutely. So 66-63, this game has been absolutely incredible from start to finish. And, they're still, with just over 5 seconds left to go, there's still a lot that can happen.
It's been a fun night. I've really enjoyed this game and watching both of these teams. They're going to have a great seasons.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to follow Lima basketball. Even the first 2 teams that we saw tonight, much improved from last year. You got Lima Senior, of course, with a lot of athletes and high expectations over there. So we are blessed with basketball here in Beantown.
So a little bit of time added, 5.9 seconds. Berkey, clean look at 3. That one's no good over the back of the backboard. Rebound by LCC, and LCC stuns the Shawnee Indians as they knock them off 66-63 in overtime. The Thunderbirds are your tip-off Classic champions.
That's big time from LCC, my goodness. Just a great job weathering the storm, right? A big lead at halftime. They were up by 13 points, and Shawnee slowly climbed their way back into the game, eventually tying it, taking it into overtime. One of LCC's best players on the bench with 5 fouls, and LCC's still able to hang on and win and I think especially thanks to their leader in Jordan Pretty.
Lots to talk about on this one. We'll step aside. We'll be back to wrap this one up and to name our Stolly Hustle Award winner. Don't go anywhere. Watching boys high school basketball on WOSN. Welcome back. Time to announce tonight's Stolly Hustle Award winner. You can check out the highlights of tonight's Stolly Hustle Award winner on the WSN YouTube page. And, you know, in the first game, guys, you know, we kind of had an easy choice. And in this championship game, it was an easy choice as well.
Yeah, Jordan Pretty, what a fantastic game for him, putting this team on his back and just carrying them to this 3-point victory. He ended up the night with 33 total points. He went 12 of 21 from the field, 7 of 10 from the free throw line, tacked on 7 rebounds as well. Did it all for the T-Birds in a game, again, that they had to weather a storm and really hold on tight for victory.
Yeah, you know, he had a fantastic game, Mark. There's no denying. Jordan Pretty is going to be the focal point of this Thunderbird team all season long, and for very good reason. But I'll tell you what, the youth on this LCC team, what these freshmen did in Zod Burton and Jeff Williams cannot be understated.
Yeah, especially when you look at they were outsized, and yet they don't turn the basketball over very much. They play solid defense, and those two guys got to the rim, and they scored points for them. And then, as you said, Pretty, you know, he's the veteran, he's the leader, even though he's just a junior, he's talented. And when they needed points, they went to him down towards the end.
Well, let's take a look at some final numbers here in this one tonight.
Okay, both teams made 18 field goals from inside the arc, and both took 35 shots from inside the arc. LCC was 6 of 17 from the three-point line, and Shawnee was 5 of 21. Shawnee made 12 of 15 free throws, and LCC made 12 of 19. The rebounding went to Shawnee 36 to 24. They had 14 offensive rebounds out of those 36 to just 7 offensive rebounds for Lima Central Catholic. The turnovers, however, Shawnee turns over 14 times to just 8 for Lima Central Catholic.
It was an absolutely fantastic and electric night here in the field house. Both games were well played. All these teams look a lot improved from last year, and that's hard to say considering the fact, you know, we had Elida and Bath. Elida had a great tournament run last year, but all 4 of these teams, I felt like, guys, had some questions coming into this season. Even a Shawnee team that we know has very high expectations, there were still some questions on how some new pieces would fit in. And I think we learned a lot, even with it being just the first couple games of the season.
Well, I will go back to what we saw when Shawnee made its big run from the middle of the third quarter on. They went to that 1-2-2 zone, which was so good for them a few years ago, and Coach Triplett brought that out. What a really good coaching move. That plus taking the ball inside more, got the ball in the scoring area, but those two things were really key for them. So really good coaching job in the second half for Coach Triplett. But Coach Powell, steady, calm, keep playing the basketball game and see what happens, and you can see how they played tonight and when needed to.
That is just going to about wrap it up for us here at the Elida Fieldhouse. I'd like to thank our crew behind the scenes, Ken Ricker, Curtis Aldridge on cameras and working as the director. Dave Evans, the athletic director here at Elida, always treats us so well. We couldn't be more grateful for that. Back at the studio, Kelly Getz, Nick Fraley doing all the work back there. We appreciate you guys so much for everything that you guys do, setting everything up, making this so easy for us to be able to come here and call these games. We cannot express our appreciation enough. One final time from the Elida Fieldhouse, the LCC Thunderbirds are your 2024 Tip-Off Classic champions as they knock off the Shawnee Indians in overtime 66-63. For Mark Shine and Evan Skilleter, I'm Nate Garlock. Thanks for tuning in and have a great night, everybody.